What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next, haven't done an unboxing for maybe like 3 weeks. I have 4 boxes here. I've got some really cool books in this one, including one book that might make it onto my keeper list. Let's check these out. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So, we've got some really cool books here, 4 packages, a number of books, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 books in all of these. Some graded books, some raw books, and like I said, one that might make it onto my keeper list. Now, the reason I say might is that it was going to be on my keeper list, but I have picked up some pretty big books over the last month or so. They are not here yet, and those ones are going on the keeper list. So I'm gonna have to think about what else I might want to cut if I end up keeping that book. I'm gonna save that one to the end. So if you want to see that book, stick around to the end. But before we get into these, got to talk about the sponsor of this video, Fanalytics. If you're a follower of my YouTube and Instagram channels, you know that having accurate and comprehensive data to make my comic buying, selling, and investing decisions is extremely important to me. Fanalytics has exciting plans for the future to provide the most accurate and up-to-date sales data as well as predictive models to help collectors make the best decisions with their hard-earned money. Keep an eye on my YouTube and Instagram channels for more announcements and dedicated content in the future, so make sure to subscribe to their Instagram for future announcements and click the link in their profile to register for beta access. The link to their Instagram is in the description of this video. All right, we are back. So let's get into this first box here. So this one right here, this is what I'm going to start with. This should just be 2 books, I think. I picked these up from Flip Mode Comics. I've talked about them a number of times in the past. They sell on Instagram. They've been doing some pretty big deal sales, like selling like books for really good prices lately, and kind of like for the holidays and everything like that. And they had that really big Bobby Blue collection that they picked up, so they've been doing some good prices for people. So if you want to check them out, go on to Instagram. It's Flip Mode Comics, and like I said, these are 2 books. I think it's 2 that I picked up from them. Let's see here. All right, so get these out of the bubble wrap here. These are raw books. Yep, yeah, it is 2 books. So raw books. And 2 Golden Age Detective Comics books. And not anything crazy or anything like that, but these were good prices, and for Golden Age, not like the really big logo Golden Age Detective Comics, but hey, early enough, I was happy to pick them up. Now the first one here is Detective Comics number 162. It's a nice looking, or nice presenting copy, but it has a lot of flaws. It has a detached cover. You can see a little piece out at the staple, I think down here, another piece out at the spine here. But they had it as a 1.0. Price was right. It was, affordable book. And for Golden Age, Batman and Robin, cool action cover. Gladly picked that one up. There are some pretty big books right around this time frame, like Detective Comics number 168, first appearance of the Red Hood, 6 issues later. That's a really expensive book. But yeah, so I just thought this was a cool one to pick up, and I always watch their claim sales. Sometimes they have modern stuff, sometimes they have all the way back to Golden Age, and this time they happen to have some cool Golden Age books, so pick that one up. All right, now the next one, this is another Golden Age book. I thought this was a pretty cool cover. This is Detective Comics number 153. Again, another lower grade book. See, they said there are pieces missing and tears on the back cover. So back cover has a lot of the flaws, but front cover looks great, and that is a great action cover for Batman. You got him flying in. You've got some serious weapons going on there on that rooftop, trying to take him down. But let's just take a look at the back. And like I said, they had it as a 1.8, so I'm not really expecting anything fantastic from it. But it's a nice looking book from the front. Oh yeah, so yeah, so you can see the missing pieces on the back. It's like right in the middle, right here. So yeah, missing piece on the back cover. The interior is all there, but it's torn on the interior. But still, Detective Comics number 153, great presenting copy from the front, Cool little date stamp down there, bright colors, all of that. Let's see, what year is this one from? This is from 1949. So with this one, we're even getting back into the 40s with, with this issue. So yeah, so it was just 2 Detective Comics books. They, like I said, they're lower grade books. They weren't all that expensive, but anytime I can get Golden Age Batman, Golden Age Detective Comics for a decent price, I pick it up. I've really been seeing some strong sales, specifically in the Detective Comics run. Seen a little bit of weakness in the Batman run, but Detective Comics run has been having some really strong sales. I always really like this, kind of the way they have Detective Comics on this cover here. The big logo is probably the coolest, where it takes up the, almost the entire top third of the book. But this one's pretty cool too. I like the font design. I think everything it looks cool on these. So yeah, 2 lower grade but affordable Detective Comics books. All right, this next box has some pretty cool stuff in it. One pretty big book, one book that is actually restored that I am planning to have the restoration removed from. So I'll show that one, talk about that, and like why I think that that's a good option with that book. So there we go. So there should be 3 graded books in here. Let's see, lots of bubble wrap. Take this tape off of here and get these out. Let's see, I definitely haven't had 2 of these. I have to think about it if I've had the other one. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have. I've definitely had the 3rd one. I think I have 1 or 2 copies of it right now, as well. But there we go. We'll start with that one. So I was talking about Batman. I always like to pick up Golden Age Batman when I can, and whenever I see it for a reasonable price, I always pick it up. So this first one here is Batman number 62. This is a 5.5. This is the first time you get Catwoman's name revealed as Selina Kyle. It's an origin of Catwoman. Really nice presenting copy. There is some writing on the front. That's, one of the detractors on this. This is actually from, there's a series of books that Heritage has been selling that all have this on here, where probably the kid that originally owned it wrote that it's from the Lone Ranger Deputy Library. And so you can see that's this text here. So you got, it's in pencil, Lone Ranger Deputy Library. I think I have a couple other books with that same text on them as well. So I think that's pretty cool that ties all those together. Golden Age books, I really don't mind writing on the cover, especially if it feels like something that you can almost like tie it back to an original owner. I think it just adds a little bit to it. But it's off-white to white pages, Batman number 62 from 1951. Really cool Catwoman cover. I've always liked this cover. I say this every time I talk about this book. It reminds me of the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons when she's like chucking cats at Lisa when she's out in front of her house. But it just reminds me of her throwing cats at Batman and Robin. But, there's a little chipping on this edge, but overall, really nice colors. 5.5 is a solid grade for this book. And there's the back cover. Back covers of these early Batman and Detective Comics always look really nice. Always have really bright colors on them. Surprisingly, not selling a BB gun this time, though. Looks like they're selling shoes or boots for this one. All right, so the next one is going to be the book that has the restoration that I am planning to have the restoration removed from. So this is Foxhole number 2. And so what these are Jack Kirby covers, stories, and art. It's supposed to be basically Jack Kirby's experiences during the war. And so there are some very in-demand books from this Foxhole run. This one is pretty rare. It is pretty tough to come by. And it had a, what was it? It was like a 3.5 or I think it was a 3.5 sold for over $3,000 on Heritage maybe a few months ago, earlier this year. And so this is a 3.0, it's C1, but the restoration is just tear seals to cover. And so I checked the grader's notes, and it looks like the only tear seal on here, it said to the middle of the back cover, which from what I could tell from the picture, looked like it's just this. Like there's a little tear there that somebody used glue or whatever to seal that, to make it so the tear wouldn't get any bigger. And so that is one of the easiest types of restoration to have removed. So I'm gonna have that restoration removed. I'm gonna get this resubmitted, regraded. It might even keep the 3.0. It has a date stamp right there. There's a little bit of color fade on this one. There are some books where you have a really deep purple on the top here, but still a very nice presenting copy, a solid looking copy. 3.0 off-white to white pages. And like I said, it has those tear seals. If I can get those tear seals removed, put a little bit more money into it, then have it regraded, I think it was well worth it to pick this one up, just because these are so tough to come by. I think the census is only like 12. It's like 12 or 15, something like that. There are not many of these out there, and you rarely see them come up for sale. You rarely see them raw or graded. So that was a cool one to pick up, and just one of the few times I'm going to actually crack a book out to have work done on it. I don't normally do that, but this one felt like it was worth it. All right, now the last one from this box. This is definitely the biggest one of these. This is an awesome cover. This is another one that, man, it would be tempting to put this one on my keeper list. But I did pick up another book recently that is going to, I don't know. You'll see when that one comes in. But this is Captain America Comics, number 29, in a 5.5. Awesome Alex Schomburg cover. You've got Captain America jumping in, and the great action pose. That's what you're looking for with the Captain America covers. You want him jumping in with that great action pose. You've got Bucky swinging in, shooting the machine gun. I talk about that. Those are my favorite Bucky covers, when he's coming in shooting the machine gun. Sometimes he has a mace or a flail. Those are pretty cool too. But like Bucky with the machine gun, Captain America flying in, beating up Nazis on the cover here that have the Free French Underground headquarters that look like they're either in a firing squad or just about to be shot, and they are jumping in to to save the day. So this is a cool book. We also have this little kind of looks like maybe like a store stamp here. I mean, a 5.5 off-white pages, just has this little chip out of the corner up there. This is a great looking copy of this book. Here's the back cover if you want your microscope. But yes, and see, like that back cover, that is, let's get that Batman out here. Like, look at these two back covers. The DC back cover, far superior. I mean, just so much color and everything on that. Just a great ad on the DC back cover. The Marvel back covers, sometimes they have good ads, but they generally didn't hold up to the DC ones. But Captain America Comics, number 29, 1943, World War II, beating up Nazis, has just about everything you want in a Captain America cover, and a nice grade for it. And this isn't the book I was talking about for the keeper list, but man, seeing it in person, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put this down on the list and have it compete with other books that are on there and see if maybe this one gets put on the list too. I don't know. It's tough because this is a really cool cover. Now that's one of the things that happens with me with my keeper list. There are times when I buy a book based on how I feel about it that I've seen online. Like a lot of times, like especially with Golden Age, you've never seen these books in person, and so you get this image of it in your head. Even though you can see it online, you can see the pictures. When you see it in person, it doesn't always stand up to that. And so I've had books before where I thought I was going to really like that book, then I saw it in person and I didn't. An example is Batman number 11. Like Batman number 11, I thought I was going to really like that book. It's the Joker cover where Batman's punching Joker on the cover. When I saw it in person, it just didn't do anything for me. And so it's just a book that now I don't really go after. It's not one I'm really interested in anymore. But then like something like this one, seeing this one in person, I like this cover. so yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this one. This is, man, there might be two keeper books in this. Might be some big changes going on in my keeper list, but we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll feel differently about that other book that I was, that I was excited about. So who knows? All right, next, got this book here. This is a single book. I picked this one up from from A1 Comics, from one of their live sales. They hold multiple live sales every week, and I bought a number of books from them in the past. They usually get some pretty cool inventory in, and so I like to watch and see what comes up. You never really know for sure, what's going to come up in there. And let's see here. And I saw this one. I made like a minor offer. I think I made an offer for like $20 less or something like that, basically to cover the shipping. And they ended up accepting, and so I've got this book here. So let's get this guy out of here. I'll cut for just a second, and then I'll, so you don't have to watch me open this package.
2,000 years later.
All right, now this is a great looking book. I've never owned this one before. These are not common books to come across. This is Action Comics number 76. And this is a World War II cover. It's a Japanese World War II cover with Superman, knocking these two guys off this motorcycle. There are not many Superman World War II covers. There just aren't many of them out there. I think most of them are in the Action Comics run. There might be a couple. There are a couple in the Superman run, but most of them do end up being in the Action Comics run. Now, when I was talking about big logos, this is big logo. Detective Comics used to be the same way, and then they transitioned, to the smaller logo like that here. Action Comics is the same. They also eventually transitioned to a smaller logo, but the big logo Action Comics, they look good. They hit different, and this is a nice presenting copy. I think they had it as a 5.0. I think there's a little bit of staining, and there's some wear. You can see some little tears along the edge, and there's the staples are all attached and everything, but it's a nice looking copy. I mean, the colors on this copy are incredible. I will definitely, have to take it out, do page counts, that kind of thing. Because, this is a pretty expensive book. World War II era, Action Comics, number 76. Just a really great looking copy. So very happy to pick this one up, because when you've got things like Superman, Detective Comics, Action Comics, Batman, there are a lot of what I call like campy run filler type issues that are in those early ones. And those still hold a lot of value, especially for Golden Age. But what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for the more significant issues, the more significant covers. And for me, when you've got a Superman World War II cover like this, that's one of those more significant covers in the run. And so that is a really nice looking book, especially from, it's maybe about 2 feet from the camera. Looks really nice from about 2 feet. When you get closer, like I said, you can see there are, there's little flaws here and there, wear along the edge. Show the bottom there. The bottom looks pretty nice. Little bits of wear at the staples, but overall, yeah, a really nice looking book. It looks like maybe a little hole right there, but yeah, very nice looking book. Really happy with that. All right, so now to the final book. So this is the book that is planning on being one of the keeper books for me. I have bid on this book a lot of times, and I have never won it. I don't know how many times, maybe 5 or 6, I've gone after this book, and I've never won it. There was one time that I pulled back on bidding that I really regret, from maybe like 2 years ago, but it's okay. It sucks whenever it's one of those sales that got pulled into GPA, and whenever I see it, I kick myself for not bidding, 1, or 2 more times on it. But you never know. The other person might have bid more too, and then I wouldn't have won it anyway. But at least I would have made that person pay a little bit more for it, so I don't see that number whenever I see it pop, or whenever I go to price this book. But this is from my favorite Golden Age artist. And I love getting books from this artist. Probably my favorite cover of the entire Golden Age is from this artist. And you actually already saw another book from him in this unboxing. So you probably guessed what it is then. Well, not what the book is, but who the cover artist is. It's an Alex Schomburg book. It is an airbrush cover. This is Wonder Comics number 15. And this one, outside of the Bender cover, you know, Startling Comics number 49, Wonder Comics 15 is my second favorite Alex Schomburg airbrush cover. This thing just has just about everything you want on it. You've got the, you know, the woman in the red dress. You've got the, you know, her in distress with this, like, it's like she's either small or, you know, it's a giant there that she's going to be cut up by this scalpel. You've got some random, you know, beakers and acid in the background. You've got the guy jumping in, you know, doing the Kool-Aid man save in the background, like, oh yeah. And this is a very nice presenting 5.0. Actually, my immediate thought was that I was going to try and get this one regraded. I did check the grader's notes because after I bought it, I was just like, man, this is such a nice looking 5.0. The only real thing that it described were some creasing down in this corner here. And like all you really see are these, just a couple small ones. I mean, when you look at the scan, you can barely see them at all. I mean, they definitely break color, so it's not like you can get rid of them. But there's like one really small one in the corner, a little bit bigger one, maybe an inch here, and then another, you know, slightly bigger one here, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, something like that. But, you know, it said the cover is fully attached. Yeah, I mean, tight too. I mean, look at those staples. Like, that cover is attached really, really well. That cover looks nice. Let's see if I see anything that jumps out on the back. Can't tell if that's might be like a little chip. Yeah, a little chip up here. See if there's anything else that really jumps out. I mean, I was fine with it regardless of the grade, but a 5.0 on this seems really harsh. Just my take on this one. I mean, look at that. Like, top edge, really nice. There's a couple little, you know, bits of damage on the edge. Corner is sharp. That right edge is really sharp. You've got these little creases down in this corner. Bottom edge is sharp, and the spine is really nice. I mean, there's a few little flaws on the spine, but I mean, this is 1947. You know, like, this is 1947. This book, to me, does not look like a 5.0. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this was a, like, if this was in this slab and graded a 6.5 to a 7. I would not be surprised at that. I think that would be very, very reasonable with this book. Like, if I zoomed in close and saw these, I might think strong 6.5, weak 7, somewhere, something like that. That little chip in the back there isn't knocking it down like that. There really isn't hardly any tanning to speak of. And I mean, like I said, like, the spine is incredible. Staples look really tight, no rust or anything. I don't see the 5.0. So, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I get it sent in, it comes back, I still get a 5.0. Maybe there's something I'm not aware of that's wrong in this book that wasn't in the grader's notes. It's possible. But this is an amazing presenting copy of this book. And I'm very happy with it. And I do really like it in person. So this one definitely passed the test of, you know, I'd only seen this one online. I hadn't seen this one in person before. So finally, I'm seeing it in person. I do really like this cover. I'm gonna have to check my keeper list. I'm gonna have to see what might get cut, but it is getting tough now. It's getting really tough for me to cut because I picked up like 4 or 5 more books that I want on my keeper list. So I'm slashing stuff right now to justify keeping some of these. But Wonder Comics number 15, awesome Alex Schomburg cover. Like I said, my second favorite Schomburg airbrush cover, behind Startling Comics number 49, which is my favorite Schomburg cover, period. Now, I know that puts it up against things like Suspense Comics number 3, which is a great cover. Don't get me wrong. But for me, the Bender cover just speaks to me a little bit more. So I really like that, the Startling number 49. But very happy with this one. Let's get out that Captain America as well, because this is the other, I mean, 2 Schomburg cover pickups as part of this video. I mean, I feel like, yeah, this is what I like showing people in these videos. And so I hope people enjoy these. I like showing stuff that maybe you don't see every day. It's a big part of why I started making this channel. This is the stuff I like to see. And I figured if I like to see it, maybe other people like to see it. So, see some cool Schomburg covers. You got top tier airbrush Schomburg and top tier World War II Schomburg. One video. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. I've got more videos over here. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, subscription button is right here. If you subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.